everybody. How y'all doing? How you doing? Welcome to Jarrett Talk interviews. As I interview people that have their own YouTube channel or business. Tonight I have a very, I say, a very special guest by Naomi. My special guest. She's one. I'm gonna put this out there. She was one of my first crush, y'all. Hey, she was one of my first crush in LCC back in the day, LCC days. But Sister Kimberly Young, welcome to my channel. So please tell the people how you start your business and all that good stuff, and we get to it. Tell the
Awesome.
people that you that I'm sorry. Tell the people that do not know about you how the business come about. Yeah.
Sure.
Hey.
Well, I'm so excited, first of all, to see you again. And I just look forward to catching up. It has been a while, right? But I really want to say, funny, I just thank God for like Facebook and social media, things like this that can keep us connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm in a whole nother state. I'm in North Carolina now. And
Wow.
but we still have kept in touch, and I'm so grateful and so honored to be a friend. And so I really appreciate you so much. And I was one of your crushes. Oh my gosh. No. so a little bit about me. So I'm Kimberly Young, and I have had a number of businesses across several years, I don't want to say decades, but it could be like decades.
No, but we go about one by one.
Yeah. And
One
so,
by one.
sure. And so I started my entrepreneurial journey as a Mary Kay consultant, right? And so that was in college. I went to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, the premier HBCU for women and the number one historically Black college university for many, many years running. So very proud of that. But yeah, while I was there at all women's college, I said, hey, this is unique. And someone approached me about selling Mary Kay. And I said, well, yeah, this makes complete sense. I'm in a campus full of women. So why would I not do that? And so I had a successful business, so much so that by the time I graduated, I was like deciding whether or not I wanted to continue to pursue it. And I just kept it on the side and pursued some full-time opportunities, but yet still stayed with that entrepreneurial spirit, because I think at the end of the day, I knew that I was called to be a business owner, right? And I didn't know that it was exactly Mary Kay. I had been given a couple new visions in my spirit and prayer time, and I was like, I'm just going to stick here. And so I went on to become a real estate agent. And so I worked in Georgia real estate for many, many years. Did well with that. I worked for some some communities, and then I also worked on my own, and so it was wonderful. And as a matter of fact, I have my license. It isn't active right now with Georgia, but I also got a license here in North Carolina. I just carried it through, even though I went on to do full-time corporate work.
Mm-hmm.
So even as I did corporate work, I still just had this burning of entrepreneurship, right? I went back and got my business degree at Simon Business School in New York. And so that's kind of when the last time we met. Well, I don't think that's the last time we saw each other, but that was one of the last times I was in Atlanta, and I moved from there to New York. And so I started a business there, and I was doing candy, and my mom makes candy. And so I started a candy selling business. And I just really, what it was is just continuing to tap into that entrepreneurial spirit. And sticking with just knowing that more than one stream of income is so important. Only leaning on one stream of income is just, it doesn't make any sense. And in this time and in this day and age in 2026, we know that more than one stream of income is just very wise to have, even if it's just something small on the side. You want to make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket. And so moving on, I continue to have some other small businesses. And most recently, I decided to open up a clothing boutique called Kimmy's Vintage Boutique, KBB, or Kimmy's Closet if you like. And so it's a wonderful boutique that is a pretty much a consignment or new. We sell consignment and new items, and we have a plethora of inventory. And if you know anything about the trends right now are people love shopping consignment. They just do. And you know what? Now I understand it too. So I find myself in consignment stores all the time and I'm seeing unique things, but I'm also one of those stores that offers unique dresses and clothes and handbags, and all kinds of like and children's clothes. So I do a lot of that online. I opened a brick and mortar, if you will. I started a small salon, but I got kind of busy and I wasn't able to attend to it, so I just went back online. So I currently work out of on a through Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace. But I will be opening a website very soon, and I'm just excited about it. So um, that's kind of where I am with my business right now.
Woo. All
That
right.
was a lot.
That, that's a lot. That's first up. First up with the Mary Kay. How that Mary Kay come about? How that come about?
Yeah, so Mary Kay, I was actually at church. So I was sitting at church. I was going to a large ministry in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Um, that I actually even was working for at the time. And I was sitting next to this lady and she turned to me and she asked me, did I know the Lord and all this stuff? And I was like, yeah. And we started talking and she said, let me just ask you, has anyone ever given you a Mary Kay facial? And I said, what is I said, what is that? But then I remember this lady who came to my aunt's house and had this pink Cadillac. I was like, yeah, I think I have, but I'm open if we want to do it again. So she said, yeah, let's get together. And from there, she took me, I had my little facial and all of that. And then I met her director and then they got me started and they said, wait a minute, you go to a college with all girls? I said, yeah. They said, oh, we're coming down there. So we had facial parties in the dorms.
Mm,
It was phenomenal. It really was. I had a team of consultants that from
mhm.
right at the college, and it was a blessing. And I became to be known as the Mary Kay girl on campus. And I also used to sell at our Fridays, our market Fridays. And that was where people would sell things that they marketed. Some people would make handbags, or some people would be selling things, and I would sell my Mary Kay, and I deliver it right to the women, or I do my orders and deliver it there. It was just, it was a unique, very unique opportunity, and I thank God for the lesson of taking advantage of your current environment and seeing how God can prosper you, prosper others, and you be a blessing to others.
During during the time at Mary Kay, were you kind of nervous when you started it, and were you like afraid? Were you kind of nervous when the lady asking you, have you asking that question about it, and when you step on getting your facial everything, were you kind of like uh, were you kind of surprised or anything?
Like, um, so like, was I nervous to start
Yeah,
the business or
yeah,
nervous to get the facial?
both. Matter of fact, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
interestingly enough, I think back in that time frame, I didn't feel so nervous
Mm-hmm.
about her. When I think about how I used to approach people and how the business worked back then, I'm like, yeah, that probably was a little scary just talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I guess I kind of had a peace about it. We were in church. Not that you have to trust everybody who's in church because everybody's not, nice. But I felt a peace about it, and I was like, okay. And she came to my dorm, and shared with me. So I felt safe. And then as far as like nervous with the business,
Mhm.
I I definitely felt a little bit of nerves, but I felt more excited about the opportunity. Because I think from I'd never been really taught about owning my own business. I was more or less like, you're going to go to corporate America, or you're going to be a doctor, or you're going to be, I think at that time I was looking at becoming a psychologist, or, you know, um, a doctor. So it was, I kind of had my set, way of where I was going. But once she talked to me about owning my own business, it was almost like the world opened up to me. I felt like I was tapping into something different. So I was a little bit excited about that.
What was the pro and the con of being in Mary Kay?
Mm. What was the cons?
What were the cons?
Huh. Pros and cons, or just cons?
Oh, what were the cons?
Oh, the cons. I think the cons were one of the reasons why. And I'll tell you, to this day, I still order Mary Kay. So I love the company, and I absolutely love. I'm actually a consultant, but they have a certain program where you just kind of do buy for your own self. So that's just my disclaimer. Long story short, I stopped really recruiting and selling, more so because I just lost the passion for,
Motivation.
huh?
The motivation. You
Yeah,
know.
I lost my
Okay.
motivation for the work. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think one of the cons I would say for businesses like that is that sometimes your success is tied into other people, um, and prescriptively tied into other people. So basically, certain levels you can't get to until you have so many people, so many sales, and stuff like that. And that's like that in many places. But I think I guess, that would be my con for not just Mary Kay, but just businesses that have those kinds of limitations.
What's the what what you what you I know you say you're good at, I mean you're still doing it, but are you do you love what you do doing Mary Kay?
Oh, so I don't really sell it. I'm kind of I think they call it a personal use. So I'm not
Okay.
really
Okay.
selling it.
Okay.
I buy it for a discount, but I always want to bring it up because there's just something in me. If somebody needs something, then of
Mhm.
course I have the opportunity to sell it. But I'm not really a consultant anymore. With that being said, I do want to say the pros. I think the pros of being in Mary Kay were that it did give me a very safe launching pad for
Mhm.
my business. And a lot of times, if you say, "Hey, I want to go into business, I want to open up a candy store," it's all on you. There's no business really supplying you a lot of the things that you need already to do the business. And so one of those things, if you want to start a business, Mary Kay is a great way to start a business for sure. And there are multi-millionaires in that business. So it's a great business. I think you just have to continue to have that passion for it. But I think one of the pros is that was wonderful is that I had a whole business in a box. And so when they gave me my box, I had my sales material, I had my makeup, I had everything I needed to do facials and to engage people, instead of me starting from scratch with my own, you know, large sum of money trying to, make the business grow.
Did you have the car?
I did not get the car. I was this close. I was this close. And right when I was going to get the car, and I don't know how they say it now, but I guess you're qualifying for a car.
Mhm.
I had a young lady um who, she was on my team, and she was really struggling to try to help me get where I needed to go. And, if I had maybe talked to a few more people and recruited for more folks, I probably could have got that car. But I
Mhm.
felt really bad trying to push her to try to help. I said, no, I can't do this. It just didn't feel right for me. And I say that, and I take responsibility of, maybe I could have talked to more people. So I don't want to put a damper on that. But for me, I was like, man, I just kind of lost my motivation there.
if you got any advice for the people who want to start that, if they want to get into Mary Kay, what kind of advice you want to give to them?
Oh my goodness, do it. Do it. There you can't lose. Um I was, I don't want to sound not humble, but I was good enough where I recruited men, and I put it that way. And I say, because at the end of the day, I knew how to talk to people about the business. And there are men who sell Mary Kay, because they understood the opportunity, right? They understood the opportunity for women, and they understood the opportunity for themselves, right? Because you're providing a product that people actually use, and then you're also, excuse me, um, you're also gaining income for yourself. And at that time, and I think even now, that you still can gain 50% of everything you sell. And so that's not rocket science. And there's women who love makeup and they love having good skin. And I don't know about you. The last time I saw Nia Long and how beautiful her skin was, and I know I'm not saying, I don't think she does Mary Kay, but it doesn't matter. It's taking care of your skin with good product. And I know so many women that take good care of their skin with Mary Kay, and it keeps them beautiful. And so, on my point is, if you want to get involved with Mary Kay, that is something you should absolutely consider, because it's kind of a no nonsense business. It just makes sense to do it.
On the next topic, uh, we you were selling houses,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, this came to me. Well, you just came to me about the we retail. I'm like selling houses. I'm like, oh, he talked to Twisty Teresa. Twisty Teresa.
Yeah.
She does that, and I did an interview with her. So how you get in that business?
So it's so funny. So wow. How did I get in that business? I have to think about it. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Oh, so what happened was, I think I had left my position. I had left a full time job, and
Mhm.
I began to do Mary Kay full time. And so I think right after, or while I was in Mary Kay, I decided I wanted um, one more stream of income, because that was the thing. How many streams of income can you have? And so I got into real estate. I took a 1 month class. I I did very well, um, on my tests, got my license, all the things, and I started running. And I had a good group of girlfriends that came out with me, and we were rocking and rolling, selling houses back to back. And so, um, that was kind of how I got into it.
What, what was the hardest part being a real estate agent? What was the hardest part being a real estate agent?
um, it's finding your own. It's building your pipeline of um, referrals and um, folks that want to be your clients. And I think that was the hardest part. But once you get that pipeline started and you start doing really good business, people do not mind referring you. They do not mind at all.
What were the cons?
The cons were, um, well, that was the hard part. That was the con. That was the hard part, because at the end of the day, you had to fish for your own. Nobody was going to deliver clients to you. You kind of had to fish. That was the hard part. I think another con is that there was no, it was commission. So it was all or nothing. If you ain't sell nothing, you ain't make nothing. If you at least Mary Kay, you sell something, you get a little bit, you have 50%. But if you ain't sell anything, or you know, and then you had, and I'm comparing because we just talked about Mary Kay, but I think it's interesting if you compare like a Mary Kay to real estate. Like a lot of times, Mary Kay is being advertised, not so much that they do a lot of advertising, but like it's marketed and people know about it. But if you don't have a marketing for yourself, it's
Right.
hard, so it's harder to do that. So sometimes you get with a bigger company and that makes it better for you. And sometimes if you're going kind of solo dolo, it's really about beating that pavement and building your network.
Did you do local or over like cross country? Or did you travel when people
Oh
were
no,
asking you
I
to
just
buy?
did. Yeah, I just did local.
What
I
the
did. I did actually do some traveling within Georgia. So my business was in Atlanta, but I did sell some. I did some selling in like Savannah, or I did some showing. I'll say that in Savannah, and things like that. So I was kind of all over the state.
what the what's the biggest sale have you done? I'm not sure I asked Teresa, but that question. What was the biggest sale have you?
Ooh,
What the biggest sale have you done?
ooh. Um,
Or the least favorite?
the least favorite or the
Yeah,
biggest
the big. What the most favorite and the least favorite? Well, yeah, let's put it that way. Yeah.
sale? Oh, um, mm, I I didn't have like a lot of like large, but oh well, that's not true. I had some probably $500,000 sales. I think one was, and this was back in the day,
Mhm.
but one was for my aunt. And what I loved about that is that I found her exactly what she wanted. And when I mean exactly, it was almost like her prayer list. I'm got allowed me to find it, and I was able to manifest it, and boom, here we go. So she had it, and she talks about it to this day. I ended up brokering the model home with all the furniture and everything. So she got the entire house furnished at an extremely low price. And I felt very proud of that because I felt very good at the negotiating table, and I felt very strong, and I was sticking to my guns, um and it worked. It worked in her favor. She got exactly what she wanted, and we got the house completely furnished. So much so she had to sell her furniture.
Uh,
She couldn't even bring the furniture in. The furniture in the house was so nice. And to this day, she lives at the house and people comment on the house all the time, just how beautiful it is on the inside and how custom and beautiful. And so I'm also proud of it, and she's proud to say, "Oh, my niece, sold me this house," and I'm very proud to be that niece that sold her the house. But another one that I'm proud of is more of the I worked for a Chinese businessman, so he looked me up and he said, "I want to buy several properties," and while it wasn't $1 million sale. It was several small sales that came up to a lot. So he bought a lot of condos and
mhm.
things from me, and so I was very proud of that because I felt, it was very much a nice small it was a huge opportunity in a small way, if you will. It was just one businessman. I was working with his interpreter, and we would go out and have business talks with his interpreter. And so I felt very proud of myself, for for engaging that and lasting in the business. And he really we had a really good working relationship, and he bought the condos that he wanted to rent out, and that's exactly what he did. So he bought a lot of condos in downtown Atlanta, and that's exactly what he did. He rented them out.
Did you did any celebrity um look you up and want you to buy the house?
Did
Did
who?
any celebrities look you up and say, "Hey, I want to use her as my realtor and want to buy the house or something"? Did any celebrity like find your number and say, "Hey, I need you to find me a house like a seven bedroom house with 5 baths and all that stuff"?
I wish. I had some pretty nice, well-to-do clients, but no celebrities that I can recall. I did have someone come all the way from Florida to buy some land because they wanted to meet me, but that was another story. he bought the land, but he had to go back home because no.
Wow.
He sure did. He sure did. So
Wait,
I'm not adding
he bought the land. He's like, forget it. I'm going back home. Okay. Oh.
right, because I was like, sir.
Well, what on the net business? Talk about that one.
What my current one?
The next business you just mentioned. I had
Yeah,
to.
so Kimmy's Vintage Boutique. So that one that I'm currently doing right now, um, it's just, it started off as I just had a ton of stuff that I either hadn't worn, and I said, I should just see if I can sell it. And I actually I did this when was I in Atlanta? No, I was in Charlotte. So yeah, I started on Poshmark a long time ago, and I actually had an assistant. She was doing that for me. She was doing all of the Poshmark stuff for me.
Mm.
And then several years later, a couple babies later, I have all these clothes, all these shoes, and all these things that are just sitting here, and they're nice. And I said, let me just put some stuff out there. And when I tell you, people were buying that stuff left and right. And I said, wow, there's really something here. And so I just followed. I followed the success, if you will. And even though there were some like low valley times as far as like, you don't hear from people, or they might not engage with some clothes. It was pretty much a steady business flow.
What do you? I should say, do you love what you do? Do you love your current job? Do you love what you do?
I do. I do. I do. I love outfitting women. I tell you what I love.
Mm-hmm.
What I love more than anything is inspiring women. I don't know that they get inspired so much from my clothes.
Right.
Maybe they get inspired by a deal, but I think the clothes are an opportunity, another gate to connect with women and men who are shopping for women or for their kids or whatever. Um, but I've always seen myself as someone who's called to inspire and motivate women. And so when I look through the my past and trajectory of my life, I from that time started with Mary Kay up until now, women have majorly been the focus, even in real estate. Like real estate, yeah, it was more broad, but I think um throughout my entire career, it's always been trying to figure out, how do I encourage a woman? How do I help her stay focused? I just recently um, started something called Take Off, which is take one foot forward. And it was just a commitment, um, because month is mental health awareness month. It's also maternal mental health awareness. And as a mom of three, I'm like, yeah, it's super important. And I don't have any gain from that or anything like that. I just want to share how important it is. And I want to inspire women to take that one step forward. Eventually, some way down the road, I'd love to open up a women's center or something like that. And that I think would bring me joy. I think that would make me super duper happy to do that. But, in the meantime, however I can serve and inspire women to just come out of their comfort zone and, come from underneath the heaviness of sometimes depression and things that are weighting them down. That brings me the most joy.
Now, what you say, if you want to open up a winner's, what you have, a winner place, would that how that gonna be? Well, the location where it's gonna be, and is it gonna be was it your vision that you want that a wellness thing, the wellness place?
What? Say that again.
I said, what was your vision that you wanted to do? You have a business that you want to do?
I do. So eventually I want to um, open up a women's center
Mm-hmm.
that is a it's like a multi-dimensional type center. And what it is it would be a place where women can come and get services, where they could have childcare and they could create healthy habits. They'd be able to get self-care and wellness, and it'd be all in one place, all in one place. And
What's the name gonna
so,
be? What's the name gonna be?
ah, that's a good question. I don't know. I think before I used to call it Sisters Loving Sisters with the Love of Christ. That was like kind of the vision, and that was like another thing I was doing when I was at Spelman. I was had a small women's ministry, so I didn't talk about that. But yeah, I think at one point I had called it the Diamond Center
Mm-hmm.
because my name in South Africa there are diamonds named after Kimberly. So Kimberly.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what made you to have all this business, working hard, being successful? I'm not put you on the spot or anything. From from Mary Kay to now, which one you like the most? I'm not put you on the spot.
Ooh, mm, that's a good question. I think the one I love the most.
The most and the least,
mm,
and why?
I think real estate probably is the one I love the most, only because there were really no limitations.
Mm-hmm.
You could just make as much as you wanted. There wasn't like, and I can't say that because Mary Kay was the same way. So I don't know. That's a hard question. I think Mary Kay had a lot of pros. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing is that it is a very prescriptive way of doing business, and I'm kind of an out of the box type person. But then also real estate, you have to abide by certain laws, but it's a little less prescriptive because you can
Mm-hmm.
kind of talk to more people. You can kind of arrange your business more. You can sell more product. With Mary Kay, you sold Mary Kay. With houses, you can sell any house, right? Technically, unless you work for a builder. So I would have to say real estate probably because it just gave me more opportunities to sell.
How many? Well, it's the real estate. How many houses have you sold so far?
Oh, I don't know because I kind of stopped selling, but I know when I left Atlanta, it was several millions uh, uh, in real estate. So I can't say don't even want to tell you that it was like so many, but I know it was
Okay, so
at least
what
over.
what areas have you what areas have you done in real estate? What part of Atlanta have you done?
Oh gosh, I sold all over Atlanta. I sold in Decatur. I sold uh, West Atlanta. Um, I haven't sold. I never sold. I sold mostly on the west side.
Mm-hmm.
But I did do a few things on the east side. But
Mm-hmm.
most of my sales were Douglasville, Austell,
Okay.
Sandy Springs, College
Oh,
Park. Yeah, on the west
okay.
side. Atlanta. Excuse me.
Not even not downtown Atlanta.
Smyrna.
Not downtown Atlanta.
Oh yeah, downtown Atlanta for sure. Because definitely,
Mm.
definitely downtown Atlanta,
But
Midtown. Hmm.
what the? I know I just asked. And when you went in Spelman, were you like when you got out of graduated from Spelman and got in the real world, and you was thinking that what I'm gonna do? what I'm gonna do if I got out of spelling was
Mhm.
was Mary Kay was Mary Kay was on your mind first, or which one was those business was on your mind first when you came out of film?
Well, Mary Kay and ministry were on my mind, to be honest. I was before I left Spelman, I was doing that women's ministry I talked to you about, and then I worked for a mentor, um, and she had a prosperity ministry, and she was a woman minister, and I, worked for her. So those two things were kind of in my head,
Mm,
along with Mary Kay supplying income for me. So I worked and got money, and then I had that. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. Are
that's-
you hearing background?
yeah, I get the kids back there.
I'm like, really?
But yeah, well, no, I'm not sure. You got me the ministry question. Uh, how did you find FTC at that time when you came to church at the time? How did you find FTC?
Oh wow. Oh, that's a good question. Ugh,
And who
where
was
do
the first person that you met? Who was the first person you met that you just met? Put it way, when you came to FCC, who was the first person that opened your arms to and make you feel home at
mm.
FCC?
Oh my goodness. Hold on one second, because of course. Hold on. Let me close this door. Hold on.
Yeah, that so far so good. We're doing good on the interview, and this Kimberly Young is amazing.
I'm so sorry about that. I just wanted to
No,
close the door.
no worries, no worries. I'm just
And I
kidding
know
right now.
that is not interview appropriate, but I knew it was not gonna get better. So
Right.
but yeah, so your question was
Who the first when you came to FCC at the
well,
time? Who
I know one of them was you.
besides
You
me?
was always
Look,
at the door
besides me. I
greeting.
know everybody want.
No,
I
but
know
for
everybody will
real.
love me.
No, but for real. You were one of them, for real. How did I because you would be out there greeting
Hmm.
everybody with that
Hmm.
beautiful smile and a big old hug. And I that was if that was in a ministry, I don't know what was, but that was blessing because you don't know how people come in there. And I was going through a very painful, very, very painful divorce at that time.
Hmm.
And nobody knew, but FCC was very, very welcoming. And
Hmm.
I'm really trying to remember how I found out. I don't know if I looked them up, but when I tell you, Bishop was so kind to me, and I even helped them look for homes at that time um, when they were looking. But him, Mark, everybody was so kind, and Teresa. She opened her. We became thick as thieves, and I so miss my friend. Um,
Hmm.
and I miss my FCC family.
Well,
I do.
well, next time you come to now, you need to come to Spirit Truth. I want you to
Yes, I need to.
come
I
to
need to, and
Spirit Truth
I'm coming.
Atlanta. So
I'm
you look,
coming.
you'll feel home. Seriously,
Yes,
you come home. You come home seriously. I'm like you. But once you come to look, when you come to Spirit Truth, you're like, hey, you ain't going nowhere else. There's no.
well, I'm down with that because I miss Mark George. Oh my goodness.
You want to see the kids? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you see them all.
Jarrett and Bishop, but he's in Michigan, right? With
Nope,
First Lady.
he's in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
he was somewhere.
yeah, he's over IPC.
And
Indiana Pentecostal Church of God. Yeah.
yeah, I
So,
mean, what a beautiful, and I promise you, if he he helped me. I was I was I was going
yeah,
through
but that's that question. How he help you? Go ahead. Why he help you?
a
Go ahead.
Bishop was a father. He was a real father, and
Mm-hmm.
I have been in many churches. I was raised in the church from
Mm-hmm.
infancy, and I know what it's like to have a good pastor. And when I met him, I knew instantly his authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And and he really fathered me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
He was a father to me in those moments. And he was also a trusted source of the word of God, to be honest. Right. I really felt like I really felt like there wasn't a whole lot of extra on top of his on top of what he delivered, and I didn't say he was a perfect person. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't say any of that. I don't even that's not even my issue or a
Mm-hmm.
question. The
Mm-hmm.
reality was that he delivered that word without a lot of bias and extra stuff. You were able to get what you needed and let the Lord reveal what to you needed to come next.
Moderator was asking, do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't, but that is something that I need to work on. I now have some new opportunity and time to work on my social media, so you'll see me posting more now. And I definitely need to do some YouTube. I definitely need to open up a channel. I had
What?
one, but it was more for like pictures and videos. Right?
Uh-huh. But what kind? Do you have a anything for my radio can drop for if somebody can find you on the social media? What where can they find you on social media if you can't be on YouTube?
Sure. You can find me on at K Kimmy Cakes at Instagram. You can find me at K Kimmy Cakes on TikTok. You can also find me at Kimmy's V Boutique on Instagram and on Facebook too. But I think more of my interactions are Instagram, and I will chat back with you. One talk,
Uh,
let me know.
What so, is your Instagram is more active than any other like on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, right?
Yeah, yeah. I would say right now Instagram is pretty active. TikTok would be my second, and then Facebook. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. I have a little sniffles and cold going on.
It's the weather, that's why.
Yes, so I apologize.
But all of that, you work. I mean, you work hard from the beginning to the end, and I know it's kind of tough. But when you do all these things, do you ever do you ever sit down and think, "Wow, it's a lot of work." Do you ever like you ever talk to yourself like, "What am I got in? What kind of getting into? What do I ever take a break or anything?"
you know, I think that's a really good question because I think many times I did not. I was known for being busy,
Mm-hmm.
like just busy, and I don't really necessarily mean like a busybody because I was always doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I was selling Mary Kay. I was doing real estate. I was doing this. I was doing that. I was serving the church. I was this and that. I was doing something all the time. And only now, over the past couple years, I would say, within the last 10, maybe less than that, I've learned to really slow it down a little bit and really try to be more intentional about my what I'm doing. And it does not mean that I'm really doing a lot less. It's just the intention is much more focused, and even when it comes to rest, the intention is there too. So I'm still working on that, but it is something that I do take more serious because I have like been like, whoa, this is a lot. And sometimes I'll give you an example. So um, I had the brick and mortar business for my clothing business,
Mhm.
and it wasn't. I was never there. I never was there. But old me would have been like, oh, I'm gonna make sure I find some way to get there at some time. But it didn't make sense. I was paying basically rent weekly, and I wasn't there. I was still selling clothes, but I was only selling online. So sometimes you have to
You
make.
tell those online. Okay. Name person?
Yeah, I was in person, but what I'm saying is I never was in the business. I never could be there, so I couldn't support being in a store.
Mm-hmm.
I had the money. That wasn't the issue. I had more than enough money to pay for it. But the issue was, does it make sense? It didn't make any sense.
Mm.
So I closed that, and God blessed me. Somebody wanted the space immediately. So I was able to get out of that lease, and I just took it back into to online, and it was much more relaxed. I could do it more on my time, and I didn't have to feel that pressure of trying to go into a store at a
Right.
time when I didn't have the time, right? I didn't have the time.
Right. You have to
Yeah.
go. You have to get up in the morning and try to get there on time at like 9 or 10 in the morning. You got to be at home. Just setting on. Just
Yeah,
going to
and with
feel like
three
okay,
boys,
do
with
this.
3 boys who are under 7 years old.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What?
3 boys. I have 3 sons, and they are all 6, 5, and 3.
Look at
And
you.
so I'm too busy. I
Wow.
was too busy to try to do that at this time. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In another time, I might be able to do it, but I had to be wise enough to know that that was too much pressure on myself. So,
So I'm gonna since we talking about family here, see, boy, do you want
so
the boys follow your footsteps of the businesses that you currently doing right now, or they
yeah,
want to do
well,
or they want to do
well,
their own way.
I want them to do their own thing. But what I do love is the other day I was talking to my son, and he said yesterday, he said, I want to be a man of Morehouse. I said,
Okay,
okay, yeah.
okay.
And then what I love about that is he's been listening, right? I've been telling him
Mm-hmm.
that, mommy went to Spelman, and I would show him pictures of the guys at Morehouse. I would show him, because I follow him on Instagram, and I would show him, I said, look at what these guys do. This could be you, and talking to him. So saying all that to say, one, I'm excited, and I want to keep that going. I want all of them to just, go and grow, be great at any college. That they do top colleges. Of course, I desire Morehouse or a great HBCU, but any college that will support them being their absolute best. And then secondly, talking to them about being their own business owner. I definitely want to do that. And I definitely want them to feel like they understand economics, they understand money, and they understand having more than one stream of income. So I definitely want them to do that.
What what was Clark Atlanta what's on your mind or just Spelman?
I believe, no, I did not apply to Clark.
You
It
didn't?
was just Spelman. Now
Okay.
I did apply to Howard and Hampton, and I did get into those schools, and
Mm-hmm.
but I did not. I don't think I applied to Clark. My sister went to Clark um, for a semester, and she didn't have a good experience. However, I know many people who did, and I don't say that's not to say anything bad about Clark. It was just I think that's why I was like, I don't know if I will go there. But when I got there, I met many people that I loved at Clark, so it's all good.
That's good. That's good. So from all that, best thing part. Do you ever let me put this way because I haven't. I'll say this. I won't say this question for last. Out of the whole uh, journey have you done? Have you ever get any bad rap or anything during the the whole? Johnny.
Bad rap.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Like negative talk.
negative talk. I
Like,
could
like, like, make it, you're not gonna, that kind of stuff. You ever get people that's like, you're not gonna be mouth anything, or you just like, forget it. I'm going to college. I'm going to college. I don't care what y'all say.
That's a good question. I,
Take
I
your time.
definitely,
Take
I
your time.
definitely have. I just have to think about it because I'll tell you, I'm sitting here in front of my vision board,
Mhm.
and it's behind this
Uh-huh.
camera.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things that I've learned in the past is to really get over negative self talk. And the only way I have been able to do that is
Mhm.
by being intentional about what I put inside my mind. And I'm looking at something on here that says, and y'all forgive me, my allergies and things, I
Take
don't know
your
what's
time.
going on. But I don't know, I'm like by the end of the interview, I'm crying and sniffling. I'd love to say that say that it was for a reason, but it's just my allergy. But so positive mind and positive life. That's something I kind of live by. Just keep myself positive, because negativity will come. I've had it in my career of my corporate
Mhm.
side, which we really didn't talk
Mhm.
about. I've had it in sales where people just, they don't want to, they don't even want to do business with you, or
Right.
you
Right.
have people who you think would trust you, like family and friends, and they don't want to do business with you just because they doubt you. I've had a lot of disappointments there. So, but the only thing I know to do is to take that one foot forward and keep on moving. And that's the
What
one
make
thing that
what make you frustrated?
I learned.
What make you like? What make you frustrated out? Did any of the businesses make you frustrated that I want to quit or anything anything that make you frustrated through that whole journey?
Oh, anything. Um, yeah. I think not having the capital I wanted sometimes, not having the
Mhm.
money to do more,
Mhm.
that would frustrate me. Because, you know, I consider myself a visionary. Like I said, I already know I want to do a women's center, but it's frustrating when you don't have the money to tie to your vision right then and there, especially if you feel like it's ready to go. Now, that can be frustrating. People who don't tell the truth, that's very frustrating. When you deal with people in business and they don't keep their word, uh, not cool.
Right.
And I try to be a woman of my word. Like I really, really do. Like, don't get me wrong. I fail. I fail, but I make it more times than I fail. If I say I'm gonna do something, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna do it. I may have to, you know, take a rain check or what have you, but I'm gonna try to communicate with people because I want my word to mean something.
So when you go to your business, I mean, your businesses, and you sit in the car, do you ever like sit there before you turn on the car? Do you ever pray before you like that? Lord, can you just let me have a good week?
Yeah.
Really, before you turn on, you're like, Lord, just let me have a good week.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes before you go in a house when you're selling, sometimes before
Mhm.
you walk in somebody's house and you want to give them a facial and they got friends there and
Yeah,
you got bills due and you like, Lord, please let these people buy this stuff. Please let them love it, right? Because
right.
at the end of the day, I've never been one to, want to sell somebody on something they don't love. Like that's just not me.
Mhm.
It's just not my game.
Mhm.
Um, but I really be praying like people, Lord, please let them love it because I need their money. Or I mean that definitely could be my prayer. Or, sometimes when it's something else different, like when it's ministry or something,
Mhm.
Lord, before I walk in there, let me be a minister to somebody in there, and
Right.
sometimes that's even in business. Like, let me say something that's encouraging, because you just never know. How people are, and I know how I have been. I've gone into a grocery store and somebody prophesied to me my whole life.
Wow.
And so it's like you just want to meet that moment. And so I think that's the prayer, Lord, let me meet the moment that matches what will be a blessing to me and what will be a blessing to somebody else.
Do you have uh, what the retail thing? Do you have a dream client that they want to buy a house, and the person actually call you and like, okay, do you have a do you have a who well, put it away. If someone come out, out of the blue and say, I want to buy a house, and somebody is your dream client, will you sell the house to the person, a male or a female?
Okay, you said if somebody
I
wants.
said, if you have, do you have a dream? I said, do you have a dream? If someone calls you and says, I want to buy the house, okay, and do you have a dream, a, a dream client, a, a, a dream client for the person who can buy the house? What I
uh
mean is, what I mean is like, oh, if like a let's say it like this, like a celebrity. So if one of your favorite singers, like let's say like Chris Brown, if Chris Brown call you out of the blue, I don't know somehow they got your number and say, hey, I want to buy the house. Calling you, not Twitter, calling you and say, I want to buy the house. Will you do it?
oh yeah.
Seriously,
Absolutely.
it means you're like a dream client.
Right. I guess, again, it just has to be the right opportunity. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I would do that for anybody, but the only reason why I would say absolutely yes with Chris Brown, if
Mm-hmm.
because there's probably a weight of what he would desire that might be worth me breaking all ties and all the things I need to do to get it done.
You're gonna break a whole flip one.
Yeah.
You're gonna break a whole flip one. But one last thing, but we get done. You got anything? You got any final words or comments? So we leave out of here, and you gonna play. I'm gonna play for you. I'm gonna play for you for real when we get done. Cause I want you to get better. So
Me too.
any final words or comments you want to get to the my?
I First of all, I appreciate that because I don't know why I am tearing up and all these allergies are happening right now. But I will say the only thing that I really want to say is that if you want to excel in business, don't wait. Don't wait. Go out there. Excuse me. Go out there and do what you are afraid of. Don't allow nervousness to overtake you. And take one foot forward. You take one
Well,
foot forward and you put another foot in the next one, and you just keep going. Never stop.
well, thank you, to the channel. I really appreciate you coming up my channel. I know you're feeling horrible right now, but you all will be better.
I do
I'm,
appreciate it. I just love the opportunity, and I'm so grateful. I
I,
really
but
appreciate
I appreciate that, and once you
it.
get, I don't care. Once you get off this line, I don't want you to go straight to bed.
I know.
Go straight to bed.
I said, this
Um,
is the hardest interview I've done. Was going well. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh God, I don't feel good.
but I
So,
appreciate. I love you. I love you. I
I
love you.
love you too.
Come soon. Please come to Atlanta and get your praise on. Praise
I
song.
sure
So
will. Send me the address. Send me the address.
okay, I'll send it to you. Okay,
Next time I'm coming.
it's it's not far. But I'll send it to you. But anyway, thanks for coming up here. I love you. I'll see you soon, and
I love you too.
I'll send you the address everything. So I'm going to put you down, and I'll talk to you soon. When you get better, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it better. You know,
Yes,
we're
let's do
better,
it again.
better.
This is the first take. So yeah, I want to do it again. If you'll have
all,
me, I would
all
love
right, all right. I love you. See you soon.
to. All right, love you too. Thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome.
All right.
All right, y'all. That was Kim, and I know she was having a algae season problem, but I'm glad to have her on my channel and that good stuff. And it was amazing to get to know her behind everything that she's been through, and from Medicaid and real estate and all that stuff, and church and stuff. Like, this is great. So other than that, it's great to see her and again, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So the next interview, will be the last. Well, there'll be more interviews. There'll be more interviews in the future, but the next interview will be with a woman, and it'll be my first time meeting them. So that'll be the 20th of May, and that'll be at 10:15 in the morning. So that'll be great, and I will. That'll be. I'm hoping that it'll go through the 20th. So they'll be coming. So they'll be coming like on the 20th, and they'll be great. So other than that, I see y'all tomorrow morning, 10:15 on the big channel. That grow that channel. That grow all the channels. You know what I mean? So let's keep going. Let's keep going. So let's make it happen. So I see y'all on tomorrow morning, 10:15, and we're talking about day to day life, and let's make it happen. All right. The Dear Talk Shop. Peace.